What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Aaron, the Sober Life Coach. On this channel, we help fast brain driven people live a life, an alcohol-free lifestyle, but learning how to regulate and retrain their brains so that they can live a happy, healthy, alcohol-free lifestyle. And if you're an overthinker, you're using alcohol to shut off your brain because you're thinking too fast, you're ruminating about things. Maybe you just have a fast brain or ADHD tendencies, and I want to help you guys understand that as not as a flaw, but as a superpower. And today we're going to be talking about one of the things that I found really destroying my life, and it was one of these ideas and limiting beliefs that I had that was really holding me back. And it's the idea of an addictive personality, right? Have you ever heard of that addictive personality, right? People say that you have an addictive personality, you're impulsive, you can't control this, and maybe you feel like that right now. Maybe you feel like you have an addictive personality, and I'm here to tell you that I don't believe an addictive personality is real anymore. The more research I do on ADHD, the more research I do on how fast-brained people like us, how we go through the world, how our brains are wired. I think that's not part of it. I think part of it is this impulse control that we have with our brains that ADHD tendencies and fast brains are causing, and it's not a problem with you. It's just the way your brain's wired, right? And you can understand that. Once you start understanding that, you can put things in place to fix that and to put better things in place for yourself. And for years, I thought there was something wrong with me, right? I thought it was disease. I thought I was powerless. I was one of those kids that was in school that was they were saying Aaron's great, but he talks too much. Or Aaron's great and he never focuses. And I love learning. I realized that after I dropped out of high school and I was going into my adult life, that I love learning. Once I got back into personal development and started to learn a lot of things about myself and work on myself. I love learning, but in school, it was just I didn't like learning what they wanted me to learn, and they labeled me dumb. They labeled me stupid. I ended up dropping out of high school because of it, and I ended up using alcohol to shut up that voice telling me I was stupid, I was dumb, I would never make it, those kinds of things. And alcohol worked for a little while to regulate my system, regulate the dopamine in my brain, but it wasn't a long term thing, right? And if I would have understood the loops that I was going through and the things that I was going through at that time and able to put things into place to help my fast brain, then I would have been able to help myself a lot better and a lot faster than I did when it took me 18 years to figure this out, right? So, and I'm just realizing now I'm just starting to realize now that I do have ADHD tendencies. I knew it for a long time, but I'm learning more about it. And I'm like, wow, this is totally me. And I hope you're maybe having that epiphany moment too, because like maybe everything you do, you start and you go all in, then you burn out, right? That's part of this fast brain system. That's how our brain works. And you go with the same loop of alcohol, right? And you go all in and you can't stop, and you have this impulse to drink, and you have all these things that are going on in your brain, and you just have to shut your brain off. And I thought that meant I had an addictive personality, but it really didn't, because but the label is not true, and it wasn't the truth, right? And that's a label is a trap. Labels can be dangerous, especially for us fast-brained people, because we don't just hear the words, we become it, right? When you call a fast brainer an addict, a lazy or broken, we start to internalize those things, just like in school. They turn guilt into identity, right? And that guilt fuels exact cycles we're trying to escape, right? We're trying to escape these cycles, and it just fuels it even more. And there's a lot of doctors that agree with me. Dr. Edward Hallowell, leading ADHD expert, says addiction and ADHD overlap because both involve dopamine regulation issues. Dr. Gabor Maté agrees. Many people labeled addicts are actually trying to soothe unregulated systems. Even Russell Barkley points out that brain chases stimulation to destruction, right? Maybe addictive personality was never a personality for you at all, just an untrained fast brain trying to find balance. And listen, your fast brain runs a lot hotter and high curiosity, high energy, right? When you're understimulated, your brain dips. We crash, we crave, we want that regulation, and that leads to things like alcohol, right? That leads to scrolling, overworking, and they're not moral failures. They're just their attempt to self-regulate. And one big turning point for me was traditional recovery told me to slow down, surrender, admit I'm powerless, but that never fit me. And maybe it doesn't fit you too, because I wasn't powerless. I was just untrained. I didn't understand how to master my mind. Once I learned how to drive my fast brain, regulate my dopamine, and reset my triggers, reclaim my identity, everything changed for me. And I stopped fighting my wiring, and I started leading it. I started using things to regulate my brain, and that guilt faded and the clarity returned to my life because I wasn't broken. I was just built faster and different than other people. And that's okay, right? Because, maybe you don't have an addictive personality. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe it's a label that was put on you. Maybe you have a fast brain, misunderstood, mislabeled, but full of potential. And maybe you're driven, right? And when you understand it, it becomes your greatest superpower. I want you guys to believe that you have a superpower with this fast brain. brain. Hopefully this video is finding you at a point in your life where you're realizing maybe I do have a fast brain. Maybe I'm just wired a little bit different than other people, and that's okay, right? That's definitely okay. And in fact, I believe it's one of your greatest assets, right? It's not a focus and attention disorder. You can hyper focus on things. You can pay attention. That's why I call it fast brain. Your brain just moves a little bit faster. It's like Dr. Hallowell talks about having a Ferrari car with bicycle brakes, right? You have this amazing engine. You just have to put the brakes on, better brakes and better systems in place to stop it without using alcohol, without using substances to change that. So you're just wired a little bit different, and that's okay. If this message resonates with you, I want you to comment fast. I'll send you the fast brain self checklist to see if maybe you do have a fast brain. Maybe it's something you want to look in. Maybe you want to get a diagnosis from a doctor. Maybe you want to get medication, or maybe you want to just try using some of these things we're learning about on this channel to kind of get better things in place, better habits, better things to help you rewire your brain and learn how it works and get you to where you want to go. Because you see your wiring when you see your wiring clearly, you can stop blaming yourself and start living a life you want to live. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. I know this video went a little bit long, but I really, really want you guys to understand that addictive personality might not be actually true. Maybe that's just a label that you put on yourself, just like the label of alcoholic and all these other things. Maybe just label yourself that. Maybe you have to start understanding how your brain works, why you're seeking the alcohol and these things in your life, and learn how to put better things in place so that you can regulate your mind and learn how to use this fast brain in a better way, and then put that to a purpose and a passion that you guys want to have in your life. Anyways, guys, I'm Aaron, the sober life coach. I'm a coach, author, and I've been sober for the past 7 years, and life is so much better on the sober side, my friends. So welcome to Fast Brain Sobriety, where we help you retrain your brain so that you can live a happy, healthy life. All right, guys, see you guys in the next video.